All right, let's talk about a journey that every single one of us has been on. It's this wild, transformative, and yeah, often pretty chaotic quest from being a kid to becoming an adult. We're diving into adolescence.
I mean, it's a weird place to be, right? You're not a kid anymore, but you're definitely not an adult yet. You're just stuck in the middle. So, what exactly is going on during this chaotic, exciting, and, let's be honest, super confusing time? Let's try to map it out.
So probably the best way to picture adolescence is like a bridge. It's this super important, and yeah, often pretty shaky, path that connects two totally different parts of our lives. And just like any epic journey, you better believe it's packed with challenges.
And really, when you boil it all down, this is what it's all about. This whole period is one massive shift from depending on other people for, well, everything, to finally becoming your own independent person. It's a time that forces you to adjust to a whole new universe of changes, both in your body and in your social world.
And this description? Man, it just nails the emotional intensity, doesn't it? A stage of stress, strain, and storm. We're talking about way more than just a few mood swings here. This is a time when so much is on the line. All the pressure and all the unknowns can easily lead to conflict, a ton of confusion, and for a lot of people, a real sense of crisis.
Okay, so the first huge hurdle on this quest is all happening on the inside. It's nothing short of a full-blown physical revolution. Your body starts changing at a speed you haven't seen since you were literally a baby. And what's just mind-blowing is the speed of it all. During that preteen growth spurt, it's totally possible to gain up to 22 kilograms, that's almost 50 pounds, in a single year. To give you some perspective, that's like adding the entire weight of a toddler to your frame in just 12 months. It is an absolutely incredible transformation in a ridiculously short amount of time.
So what's driving all this rapid growth? Well, it's a flood of hormones that kickstarts sexual development. And this happens in two main ways. You've got your primary characteristics, which are all the changes happening inside that are directly tied to reproduction. And then you have the secondary characteristics, which are all the outward signs that puberty is in full swing. The stuff that everyone can see and hear.
And this is a great breakdown of how that process unfolds. Now, the exact age this all kicks off can be different for everyone, but the order in which these things happen, it's surprisingly predictable. It's like a set program. For girls, you see this typical sequence, and for boys, it follows a different but just as predictable path. It's kind of amazing. It's this very ordered series of events happening right in the middle of what feels like total chaos. But of course, the changes aren't just physical. That's only half the story. Once the body's revolution gets going, you've got to navigate a completely new social world. And this is where the real search for who you are truly begins. And this social journey is every bit as tough as the physical one. Think about it. You've got this weird, ambiguous status where one minute you're treated like a little kid, and the next you're expected to be this super responsible adult. Your parents might even be trying to keep you dependent on them, to protect you, right at the exact moment you're fighting for your own independence. It's an absolute minefield of mixed signals and conflicting demands. So, with all this pressure from the outside and all this change on the inside, one massive question just bubbles up to the surface. Who am I? The psychologist Erik Erikson called this the key crisis of adolescence. It's this huge struggle to take all these new roles, these new feelings, and somehow mash them together into one stable identity. And if you can't, you risk being left totally confused about who you even are. And of course, this search for yourself doesn't happen in a vacuum. Nope. Society loves to throw in its own layers of pressure. From the moment we're born, we're surrounded by expectations about gender roles, how boys should act and how girls should act. You add that to all the pressure about what career you should pick and what your life path should look like, and suddenly that personal journey of finding yourself gets a whole lot more complicated. But here's the cool part. This journey isn't just a bunch of random challenges you have to survive. Psychologists have actually identified a set of clear developmental tasks for this time. You can think of them like key missions you've got to complete to successfully level up to adulthood.
And nailing these missions, that's what leads to a healthy, successful transition. If you don't manage to master them, it can lead to a lot of unhappiness and make things way harder down the road. So these aren't just, friendly suggestions. They're the absolute fundamental building blocks of a mature adult identity.
So here it is, the roadmap for the quest. According to the psychologist Robert Havinghurst, these missions cover a few key areas. First, your relationships with other people, learning how to have mature friendships with everyone, and getting ready for partnership. Second, your relationship with yourself, coming to terms with your new body, and this is a big one, becoming emotionally independent from your parents. And finally, your place in the wider world, figuring out a career and, crucially, building your own set of values to live by. Getting a handle on all of this, that's the real job of being a teenager.
So when you look at it this way, adolescence is both a total storm of change and a structured quest with really clear goals. It's the time in our lives when we build that bridge to our future adult selves, one piece at a time. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that we have the map, now that we know what the missions are, how does that change the way we can help the people who are out there right now trying to build their own bridge?